It's gonna be, hey, cause all the elect's gonna be in that shit, man. All the elect is going up in that shit. And then there's gonna be many more other chariots, man. The scriptures tell you that the chariots of the Lord are 20,000, you know. So all these the mini ships, so to say, that you see every day in these videos, YouTube videos, you see the UFO sightings. Those are just angels of the Lord, man. And people freak out just by seeing those. So imagine the Father shit. Go ahead.
Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. And yet there's fight.
That's right, man. So all these men that are going to come up against him, all the militaries of the earth, when the Lord returns, they're going to try to fight him. Even though they're going to be shitting their pants, scared as hell, not knowing what to do, the Lord's going to put the spirit on them. He's going to harden their hearts, man, to fight him. Yeah. Right? They're not going to have no options, man. They're going to get their orders, and they're going to have to fight, man. With their little F-35s, all right, their little helicopters, the submarines, all that's going to be horribly and miserably destroyed, man.
I got a quick reset to go along with that. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 13, and I'm going to get to the point, verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
That's right, man. All right. That from fear, man. These men's hearts are going to be filling up for fear.
Well, it says in the next verse. Verse 8, and they shall be afraid, pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
So these people are going to be bugging out when they see that, man. And it's because it's already going to be a lot of chaos taking place on the earth. All right, a lot of death and destruction. And then this is just going to be the icing on the cake when you see the chariots and the missiles coming simultaneously, man.
I want to back you up something real quick, brother. Because you was talking about how you said they were scared, but yet there's fight, and you said the Heavenly Father is going to be the one who's going to harden their hearts. In other words, He's going to make them fight against He's going to make them fight against Yahushua and the angels of hope and the host of angels. This is Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might shew my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore have ye mercy on whom He will have mercy, and whom He will He hardeneth. All right, so He's going to put the spirit on them to want to fight against Yahushua, just to go to show you, man, that I control them. You know, just like I controlled them to put you into slavery and to rule over you. I just want to bring it out real quick.
And just like He did in the time of Egypt, man. Yep. He hardened their hearts to come up against Israel. All right, and look, they utterly got consumed by that water, man. This time it's gonna be by fire.
That's Isaiah the 13th chapter. It says Yahweh of hosts mustered up the
battle.
Yeah, mustered up the battle. You know,
yep.
so.
Yep.
Dealing with they was afraid, but there's fight. This is Matthew 24 and verse 19 or 29 slot. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
That's right. Let's talk about the elites of this world, man. All right, all the stars of heaven are the what is it saying? What else is it saying? Stars and what?
The spiritual because then I say that they exalt themselves above the stars. Yep. That's right.
Continue on verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Yep, and that's we'll keep going.
And then shall all tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
And you look into you see the word power or glory, one of those goes back to host. Right? So He's coming with His host, man, His military, the real army, all right, the real Air Force, whatever you want to call them, man. That's what the Lord is coming with, man.
If I may add, when He was walking the earth in the flesh, He said, no, it's not that I can call 12 legions. And I think one legion is like 6,000 or 7,000 angels. You know, so the Lord got that power, man.
Yep. Well, and now He's already received it in the heavens.
Second in command.
One more verse. Verse 31. And He shall send His angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together His elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other end. You know, just to add in there, you're talking about that the Father shipping in those multiple ships, you know? Just like in the movie Independence Day, you know, they had that big ass ship, and they went to go fight it, and then all of a sudden they seen all these smaller ships coming up out of it. You know, they was just as badass as the big ship, man. All right, so the Father, Yahushua is coming back and what we call a so-called fathership, but with other ships as well, his band of angels as well.
Host, yeah, that's his host. And the inside of them chariots, man, they're limitless. And what is it? I think it's Psalms 19 or 18. The King David went up in them, and he said it was a big room, man. You know, so hey, who knows? They might look small, but what? They can shrink, they can expand. So you know what? Who knows? It's like, you know, they show those movies. They go into a small little tent, and then inside the tent is a big ass house, man. And anything is possible with the Lord, man. Go back in that second verse.
All right, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire.
That's right, man. So the Lord, he don't have to lift a finger, man. All right, he just got to think it, and that ship's going to be shooting sparks of fire at you, man. The Lord don't got to do nothing, man. But guess what? He's gonna come and take heads off himself. But his ship is gonna be shooting laser beams. All right, all his other chariots are gonna be shooting laser beams without lifting a finger, man. Because hey, them ships, man, they probably connect to you, man. You know, all you gotta do is sit on the little personal throne in that ship and just think about it. Just think it and it's moving. You know, you ain't got no joystick control, you know, ain't none of that. Ain't no, shut it, you gotta turn it on, flip a bunch of switches to turn it on.
Yeah. Hey, you said something that was very spiritual. You say he can think it, right? That's I'm not gonna tell the movie or whatnot, but Thanos, he get all them stones. All he gotta do is snap his finger and bring life to the planet Earth.
Half the Earth population of living creatures die.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Showing that power, you know. Not the lift of the finger.
Go ahead, brother.
And it reads, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
That's gonna be them concentrated beams of light, man.
Yeah, it's one in Habakkuk where it say raise, raise, and you go into that word raise. Horns. It says horns. And if you go into that word horns, it means raise, a beam of light, man. You know, concentrated fire.
And then that Psalms 18, where David, you know, first David was delivered because he was going to battle, and then he got called up in the chariot. Well, it said that the chariot was shooting lightning, man. Which what is light? It's a concentrated source of light, man. And that's what those laser beams are gonna be, man. Because Esau, man, he could give you military grade laser. He could pop balloons and shit with them. You know, you blind somebody with them. So imagine the laser beams the Lord got, man. Go ahead.
It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest.
That's what's gonna make that light, that laser beam, man. Concentrated laser beam. And yeah, exactly. Because you know they'll tell you that when you buy those little laser beams, they got like different levels. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like the ones you can't buy unless you're in the military is like 5 and up. But the Lord got limitless laser beams, man. They don't have to recharge or nothing. Like they don't have battery life on them. They just straight shooting, man. But beating people to powder, man. Go ahead.
Unlimited power source.
Yeah. And the power source is going to be the man controlling the ship, and that's going to be connected to Yahweh. You know.
And they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
Yeah, that's right, man. So it's going to fall with violence on these militaries of the world. All right, the U.S. Army, the Russian Army, Pakistan, Iran, India, everybody's going to get the smoke. All right, the Lord's coming to bring judgment on all the people that fight against him. All of them that fight against Jerusalem. All right, and all the nations have come up against us, including 2/3 of our own people, man. All right, because you got a lot of Jason that's going to be in the military, man, when the Lord returns. And guess what? They're going to get zapped to death as well. If they even make it, because World War III is going to be a meat grinder, man. All right, the ones that are going to make it to that battle is going to be the pilots, man. The pilots that ain't seen action yet, man. Or they might just throw somebody in that just still in school, pilot school, man. The big Boeing 787 pilots, you know.
Like they did on Independence Day.
Yeah, everybody was getting on.
Who here can fly a plane?
Yep. They got niggas dust croppers, you know. People, farmers dusting their crops. They put anybody behind the wheel, man.
Because you're going to need it.
And because it's going to be a lack of soldiers, man. Because most of them is going to be maggot food by that time, man. They're going to be part of the earth when the Lord returns. Yep. Go ahead.
Good. And fell with violence upon the great tempest, the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived.
There we go. Nothing's going to be able to be perceived when the Lord returns. When he starts zapping people, all right, because that's what the Lord's coming to do. He's going to zap you, man. Go ahead.
But only dust and smell of smoke.
The only dust and smell of smoke is going to remain when the Lord starts zapping you people, man. Zapping your mighty men of military. You know, all you're going to see is dust and the smell of smoke. You ever burn your eyebrows by accident? You ever smell burned flesh? That's what you're going to smell throughout the whole earth. Right? Throughout the whole... And well, if you're here in America, you're gonna be smelling your own flesh burning.
Hey, I was gonna say a good example of the smoke and the flesh and all that was 9/11, man. When those buildings came down, that's all. Hey, man, you had all that solid material just turned to what? Dust and ash, and smoke.
One question. What if you're wrong? All of you. What if you're wrong? Then what? Think about it.
Have a good day.
We'll take it.
Keep going, brother.
All right, you take care. Take care.
All right. He's just mad because he knows he's going to
Isn't that? I think that's what they call the third stage of denial. Or no, wait, the third stage of suicide is denial, man. Go do your business, man. When some don't believe, when some don't believe, and some don't believe, they just know you're wrong. But real quick, going back. Go ahead, bro.
Salaki, what it says in Proverbs the 18th chapter, it says basically do not speak before you hear a matter. Because then you consider yourself a fool. He don't even know what we're talking about. But we're wrong.
And he walked right in between. That's a devil, bro.
Yeah, that's a devil. He's upset because America's not great again. That's why he's upset.
And you see, that goes to show you a prime example of where Esau's faith is at. Esau's faith is in that he hopes we're wrong. You know. Meanwhile, our faith lies in whether we're going to be a part of the elect or not. We know these things are going to come regardless whether we believe them to be or not.
We don't deal with what ifs. We deal with what is, and what is the scriptures, you know. So have a nice day. That's all we can tell you. You gonna sit here and go back and forth with a nigga like that? That's a nigga. That's a nigga.
That's a fucked up way of thinking. Anyway, if we wrong, what's gonna happen if we wrong? We gonna still be here.
Why you wasting your time? If we wrong,
no,
keep going.
If we wrong, we're not gonna get hit with missiles. But if you wrong, your ass is missile food. So you might as well at least try to be on this side. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be wrong and have enough money than be wrong and be broke. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather be wrong and have dignity than to be a nigga in this world and be just a dirtbag.
Yeah. Everything collapsing and whatnot.
We're wrong, but all this shit going on in the world.
He's the same guy that sold his birthright.
Yeah, exactly.
Horse of the meat. Red as hell.
Yeah.
But you're wrong, brother.
Go ahead, bro. Sounded like a Russian.
It says, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
Yeah, so even Ezra was afraid, man, when he saw this, man. And he was a man of the Lord. That's how scary that vision was that he received, man. He saw that vision and it was it was life changing, man.
Hey,
you see a vision like that.
Like I was saying, 9/11. That's you got a visualization of that right there. Because why? Them buildings came down and all those people, that material all turned to dust and smell of smoke. You had people running. All of a sudden they covered in dead bodies, cremated bodies and things like that. You seen the horror in their faces. They were screaming. They ain't never seen a whole skyscraper just fall on top of their ass. And people turned to straight dust in a matter. They said those buildings fell in 8 seconds on free fall speed. So free fall speed, all that material, all those bodies just turning straight dust, man. So imagine when the Lord come back and start zapping people like the brother was bringing out in that movie, World War.
What it was, yeah. It's actually gonna be worse. Obviously, it's gonna be worse, but because some people actually survived that, man. Like not survived, but they pulled out dead bodies from the wreckage and shit, man. And some people were still alive under that. Ain't gonna be nobody alive after these missiles hit, man. All right, not Mayweather. All right, not Donald Trump. Okay, nobody, man. And if you are escaping it, it's for slavery, man. The heathens are going into slavery.
It's pretty much like pick your poison, you know, because
Yeah.
it says those that escape the famine shall die of the sword, you know. So it's like how you want to die, pretty much.
Verse 12. After I saw the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude.
And then now we'll keep going.
And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awake and said,
Because not everybody's gonna be, when the Lord returns, not everybody's gonna die. All right, the elect's gonna be saved to 1/3. They're going into ships. All right, but what? Not every country's gonna get hit with missiles, man. There's gonna be a lot of people that still remain. We can't give you an exact number, but what? The Lord gotta come and subdue the nations, man. How he gonna do that if everybody dead? The elite of all these nations are gonna survive. All right, maybe even some 2/3, and we're gonna put them to death, obviously. All right. What else? You know, and then some of the 1/3 might be left here on Earth, man. They might be in the Amazon jungle, might be in some of these heathen countries, but they're, you know, the confusion of faces that don't get hit with a missile. You know, maybe in you know, let's see, one of these islands in the not the Caribbean, the Philippines, yeah, around there, you know. So there's still gonna be people left.
Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar. So there's gonna we're gonna go get them for the Lord, man. Right? We're gonna say, hey, you gonna either serve the Lord, or you gonna get, you want the sword or the serve? Which one?
and the Jakes down there in South America, when they see them ships, that's what they've been, all them folk tales they've been hearing for 1,000 years. That's what they're gonna be waiting on, man. You go down there to Issachar, they got the, you know, UFOs on their walls and shit, man.
Casa Quadra.
So they gonna know, like, damn, this
This is it.
is him.
And then we're gonna have to break it down to
Yeah, that's beautiful. Cause in the spirit, through the spirit, that's a sarcophagus that actually, if you look at it, it's like it shows a cloud. If you look at it vertically, it shows a cloud and it shows fire, and that's a separation. But if you look at it horizontally, you will see the same man on the ship, and that fire is actually fire that's being propelled out, and that's him going into the sky. So that goes to show you that they know that they are actually UFOs. All right, and that sarcophagus, which is basically a carving that was put on it, that was done millennia ago. All right, and that's talking about the Northern Kingdom.
And that's where you get most of them damn UFO sightings.
yeah, Peru.
Down there in South America area, man.
Mexico.
Yeah.
With Chile, they got a lot up there in the mountains. And what is it? Starts with the A. Andes Mountains. Up there, they have mad. There people go up there just for vacation, and hoping to see chariots, man. Well, you ain't got to go too far. They coming to a town near you soon.
America just don't televise it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's everywhere, man. Go on YouTube, you'll be there all week, and you still ain't watched them all.
Hey, a lot of these sea captains of these barges and stuff, man, in the middle of the oceans, they be seeing chariots, man. You know, my mother, she just came back from Puerto Rico not too long ago, and her boyfriend's buddy, he's actually a Coast Guard captain out there, so he be out in the ocean late at night. He was saying that he was seeing all types of UFOs out there. You know, they call it the Omnis over there in Puerto Rico, Omni. All right, so they don't know what the hell he don't even know what that was, but he said he would see them coming in and out of the water, coming over his ship and just staying there for a while and then taking off. You know, so the chariots are everywhere, man.
I
see that shit all day.
USO, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I mean, going to water, ripple in it.
Yeah, that's heavy out there in Puerto Rico, man. Them coming out of the water. They got a what is it? Bajas, yeah, man. Nothing but chariots out there.
And then when they come out the water, they don't make a splash. Like that. It's
No noise, nothing.
Yep.
Because they're they're interdimensional, man. They can leave the dimension if they wanted to. So of course they can manipulate elements, just like we gonna be able to.
Manipulate gravity and all that. That's how they can bust them turns like it's nothing.
Yeah.
That's why it says they turn where they weren't going. You know.
And it said they shall enter into the house of the thief.
Yep.
That's Esau, man.
Yeah.
Esau's house.
Undetected.
And I was gonna say one of the reasons that you really don't see UFOs here in America a lot is because not because they don't have them here, but it's because of, you know, most of these Americans, you pan around, everybody's walking around like this.
Yeah.
All right, we have to scream on you talking about look at the damn sky, look at the chemtrails, you know. people still think you bugged out. Oh, chemtrails don't exist. When any day, madness passed by.